Vegas lights shine bright, bad boys sitting pretty. Michael, Steve, Rob running things in Sin City. Podcast blazing truth, rhyming hard and witty. Three kings on the mic, Vegas life gets gritty. Matt Michaels dropping bombs, quick wit, no filter. Sin City's own, blending gold with the silver. Steve taking notes, every word's a thriller. Rob's on the tracks, beats cold like a chiller. Bad boys a podcast, raw truth they broadcast. Speaking facts so fast, haters coming dead last. Las Vegas legends, three amigos top class. Mic in hand, setting fire, never outclassed.
Welcome, everybody, to the Vegas Bad Boys podcast. I am Sin City Steve, filling in for Matt Michaels. And along with us tonight, we've got Rob Bossoleri at Vegas Trump.
How did I end up on the bottom?
How
the fuck did I end up on the bottom?
There. Hey, man, that's all on you, not on us.
I don't give
second placing.
And also joining us tonight is Marcus. Marcus
Dietz of Kets Pro Wrestling.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Now, I want everyone to understand this. If I were to rank the local wrestling scene of order of greatness by which the promotions come in and give back to the Vegas community, TNA has done a big job out here promoting local talent. GCW, Future Stars of Wrestling, FSW, Joe DeFalco, respect. And then we've got Kets Pro Wrestling. And if you've seen the other promotions that I have mentioned, then you've seen those talent, those wrestlers at Marcus's show. He's done 3. They were bangers.
Thank you.
3. He even had
Appreciate
a halftime show. He even had a comedy halftime show starring a local talent, an LA talent, and Flag. Really good shit. And he could tell you a lot about just the cost of doing 3 shows can kneecap somebody. But he made certain that the talent was paid. He made certain that the people enjoyed what they were watching and that it made fucking sense. And even his champion was on the PWI top 500 wrestlers. Who was your champion in Kets Pro?
Jody the wrestler, or Jody himself. He's a local guy, part of Simps for the Belts. They're very talented. Sandra Moon. Dang, I can't remember the others.
And her brother's also a comedian.
Yeah, her brother is one of her brothers is a comedian, Marco, and then her other brother wrestles as well. And Adriel Noctis is one of the other members in there.
Now, a quick, just in case anyone does not quite know or is familiar with Sandra Moon. When she first started out, the current TNA Women's Champion wrestled her. I'm blanking out on the name with the hair and the Russian champion from TNA.
Oh, Slamovich.
Yeah, had a quick match with Sandra Moon on TNA. You can look it up and see how good Sandra is. And Sandra will take on the men and do a great job. I want to put people over while we have a local promoter here.
Yeah, Sandra's good. I think she just did a small run in Japan, working at like Stardom, I think, and some of the other smaller promotions out there, but that was good for her. Yeah, she's definitely somebody to check out, look out for, and keep an eye on. She's super talented.
Absolutely. Friend of the show, Sandra Moon. So definitely familiar with her work. If you're not, get yourself familiar with her work for sure. All right,
she's going to be big.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's dive in and take a look at the week that was in pro wrestling. And let's start here because obviously it's going to tee things up for other shows during this past weekend. So we start with SmackDown. Obviously, as we can see there, we had the John Cena advertised promo. I mean, realistically, that was probably one of the best things on this show.
Word life. This is
we're gonna. Oh wait, you mean Punkonomics?
Yes.
Yeah. You had CM Punk show up out there, showing up to Basic Thugonomics, and his entire promo was in a rap. So once you get past the ultra cringy factor of CM Punk at age 40 plus, trying to spit bars and recreate something that was not his to begin with, it was pretty interesting delivery, and it got people talking, which is the biggest thing.
You're rapping to a guy wearing white bowling shoes. Like, nothing is cringier than John Cena now. John Cena looks like if, like, my dad started working out and wanted to impersonate John Cena. It is a very meta caricature of himself right now, and he knows that, and he's leaning into it heavily.
I'm glad he's retiring now instead of in 20 years trying to do the Ric Flair thing.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to see him with jiggly fucking arms like Ric Flair. Yeah. It looks like oatmeal in a fucking burlap sack.
Yeah.
And he's going, oh,
I think it's a little late on the heel run.
I think that's happening, or that's coming to an end. Which we can talk about fantasy
he's
booking
over
and
with
stuff
the
like
fans.
that. But
he's over with the fans now.
People are going to boo John Cena. Yeah, people are going to
cheer him on the way out. Yeah.
No.
So, I mean, ultimately, a lot of people are assuming that we're going to see a double turn probably at SummerSlam between Cody and John Cena. We'll see what happens, but it definitely could be interesting for sure.
Could John Cena go some sort of Alundra Blaze route where nobody gets the satisfaction of seeing him lose? Because if you do that, then he really does leave out on top. And the only way that you can satisfactorily get that feeling is if somebody breaks that 17. And the only one who's in contention or in range is Randy Orton. Randy Orton is 3 away, which is possible. It would not be hard within a 5-year run. Let's say he's got 5 mediocre years left in him.
Does he have 5 left though?
I don't see. Here's my problem with it. As a longtime wrestling fan, it's hard to imagine Cena going out on top. I don't think Triple H is. Nobody lets people leave with the championship, so he has to put somebody over.
Absolutely. Agree.
Now, here's the thing: is Seth Rollins still his boy? Because what you could end up doing is a repeat of that WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar and
Roman
and Roman Reigns. Have Rollins be a disruptor. Now, what would be a twist is if this time Rollins screws himself and puts a disaster kick Cody Rhodes over. It would be possible.
Yeah.
It would take some of that little sourness off Cody Rhodes winning again.
Well, we got a little hint of that at the pay-per-view or the PLE with the run-in and him bumping the ref and everything like that, which I think is good that Seth didn't technically lose the briefcase.
Yeah, no shit.
There was no storyline for him left.
Yeah.
If he loses the briefcase, he has to cash it in. And it's got to be in dramatic fashion. The question is, with regards to Seth, is how long after he cashes in that briefcase, win or lose, do his henchmen go, wait a minute, you haven't given me everything? Because that's the textbook WWE henchman story. Wait a minute, I was doing well. I was Intercontinental Champion before I met you. Hey, wait a minute. I tsunami'd you so many times I had to send you to the hospital. Why am I working under you when I'm better than you?
Yeah, when the henchmen become more important than the boss, it's kind of an issue.
They kind of are, though.
Yeah,
because we've seen these kinds of runs from Seth before. He even his verbiage, his dialogue, his monologues are, "I'm a revolutionary." Yes, what's revolutionary about you? You want a belt.
Right.
There's nothing revolutionary about wanting a belt. There's nothing revolutionary about building a watered down shield.
How soon do we have Paul Heyman turn on Seth?
No, it's a while because Paul Heyman.
Yeah, that's a long time from now.
Long time.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman, I think this is less impactful physically than his work with the Bloodline because there are fewer people. So he does not have to make as many appearances and do. You notice the way they're doing this. They're not going behind the stage, sitting in a room, drinking soft drinks with Paul Heyman having to sit there and give that stoic pose.
Just staring. Yeah.
But now it was good acting. That all that stuff that he did was great, but it's a lot more work. This is a lot lighter. He only shows up now, cut his promo, leave. Cut his promo, leave. It's probably half the work. And if they're doing any, and people forget, WWE is just not Monday night, Tuesday night, Friday night. All those house shows, Paul's going to have to make appearances because Paul now is about as important as the in-ring talent, and he might be taking a bump here or two. So this is a way less stressful scenario than Bloodline. And we need to get into the Bloodline tonight down the road.
I can't imagine.
We'll definitely talk about that.
Can't imagine having to manage that many people.
No,
My
not at all, man.
client, Solo Sikoa, the
Yeah.
Usos, Tamatonga,
Yeah.
Tongaloa.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Soon to be Zilla. Zilla's coming too.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll happen.
Fuck.
Yeah, that'll happen.
They're clearing
But,
out the fucking whole bikini bottom.
Yeah.
But just wrapping up SmackDown, there was something else newsworthy that happened on the show. There is a new women's U.S. champion in Julia. And Zelina Vega's
Lasagna with
United
soy sauce.
Yeah. Her Zelina Vega's title run came to an abrupt
You
end.
just said her lasagna.
Well, yeah, because you fucking threw me off with that shit. So, but
I want her to spicy lasagna.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah,
But,
that was a surprise, but not a surprise.
Yeah. So obviously, all those things led us into the PLE that went down on the 28th. Obviously, talking about Night of Champions from Riyadh. Yeah, say what you will. Obviously, the main event. Let's actually just start with that. So, John Cena retains, beats CM Punk. Corporate man Phil goes down to John Cena. Any real surprise there, guys?
No.
No.
And that's the problem. I watch wrestling to be surprised.
Exactly.
And
You were not surprised. There was a lot of talk on some of the other casts out there that there were botches in that match. And the two notable ones were the team up on CM Punk through the table that they didn't sync up there. They're throwing him through the table and almost injured him. And the other one was Penta hot dogging it down the ramp. Now,
Bro.
no, wait a minute.
Hey, that's my boy,
That-
dog.
that-
That's my boy.
Everybody was going, wait a minute. You're asking me for help. I'm here, help. And I'm going to come down and go, Saddle.
Listen,
Yeah. Hold on.
if Jeff Hardy can do it, all right. How many times has
Jeff
Jeff Hardy
Hardy
done it?
Jeff
This
Hardy.
man-
How many times has he done his little dance?
Jeff Hardy did it high on painkillers and cost himself a match in TNA against Sting,
Yeah.
and it all was forgiven. Here's what I have to say about that. That guy's not Jeff Hardy, number one. Number two, it's
exactly.
a PLE. Number three, for your casual WWE fan who doesn't know who the fuck this guy is, except what Michael Cole tells you this guy is, you're sitting there going, you're kind of a little high on yourself to be hot dogging it down to the ring when this is an emergency situation.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
He didn't want to get speared.
Yeah, well.
So the thing is about the Jeff Hardy point, realistically, his
wasn't any better
saunter to the ring made Jeff Hardy look like he was the fucking ultimate warrior. Seriously. Penta was doing his little dance. He was, slapping wrists with fans. Oh yeah, by the way, I might as well do something.
Yeah.
I get it. At the same time, a little bit of urgency.
Yeah.
Don't make me
Well,
suspend my
definitely.
disbelief too much.
Definitely. And he taunts a lot in matches and he's he's showboating a bunch, and honestly, as somebody who watched him a bunch in AEW, I was a big fan, and
Oh,
I'm kind of used to it, as somebody
Here's the
who has
thing.
watched
Pause.
him before.
Pause. Fuck AEW. Fuck AEW.
Oh,
Go
look at that!
watch
I
him
have a
against
call. I have a call. I
LAX.
think I have to go. I'll see you guys later.
Go watch him on fight LAX on TNA. Those matches were savage, and there is no hot dogging into the ring. He got down to the ring with authority. If you go count TNA, yes, he took his time, but that's because he was the headliner. In the headliner position as a tag headliner, yes, you're going to take your time. They're setting you up for that. Now, there is one person not here tonight, the host of the show, Matt Michaels, and I had a conversation about him. First of all, he's recovering nicely, and he will be back soon, looking all lean and cut up, pun intended. His attitude was, dude, this is perfect because he's there to show all of the people in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He's there to do his dance because that's what they're paying him for. No, the whole point is it's an emergency situation.
Right.
You are not coming out to a battle royale or a gauntlet.
I think if it was an emergency situation, he would have came through the crowd. He would have got there a little bit sooner.
They should have done that.
Somebody needs to talk to him and say, "Hey, buddy, let's speed it up a little bit."
So here's the thing with that. What Matt is saying is, yes, this was the opportunity for all of the people in Saudi Arabia to see him cut all those the poses and everything. And there's a lot of ways they could have done that.
They could have done it backstage.
They could have done it as an earlier thing. In other words, say, here's a pre-event. Here's a dark match. We're going to have a dark match with the Lucha Brothers. And then he could cut all his promos. Everyone gets their photo ops. Yay. And then he does what he's supposed to do. He comes out in full ring gear, which would have looked better because if I'm going to see him, I don't want to see him in a Michael Jackson Thriller jacket. I want to see him in his ring gear do this. So you gave me this kind of mixed signal thing where you can argue he didn't care. So if you want to get nitty gritty, CM Punk could go around and go, "What the fuck, bro? Why did you drag your ass coming?" Mino,
well, that's fine. That builds more storyline because now CM Punk needs something to do.
And you direct him off into that arena, and then you're going to get some great technical wrestling out of the two. He could go that route. And the other guy could go, "What the fuck? So what if I hot dogged it? I helped you out."
Yeah.
Okay.
I noticed there's a lot when it comes to Cena matches lately. There's a lot of interference. There's a lot of there's multiple interferences. There's multiple
by design
ref bumps.
We want Cena to look good on the other side, but we want Cena to win in scummy ways. How do I get both done at the same time? With the Seth Rollins element of it, Seth Rollins gets to play the heel to the right of Cena. So he gets to be even more of a heel than Cena, and Cena gets to meter the crowd and see what's going on. If you notice on Friday, they liked him. And Cena went, and he looked around and he had that half grin because he knows there was a long time ago when Paul Heyman was sent out to Minnesota and Brock Lesnar was a heel, but Brock Lesnar's from Minnesota. And no matter what Heyman said to that crowd, he could not turn them on Brock Lesnar. They kept cheering for him. And he went into the back and apologized to Triple H, said, "I did the best I could, but they wouldn't boo him."
Yeah.
Cena's going to get to that point where he's such a fucking ass of a heel. How has The Rock become famous or Stone Cold? They were heels. Triple H is a heel. We always root for
who's the person that makes Cena a heel? Because who is going to get the crowd so pissed off at them that they legitimately see John Cena turn back face? Because he's supposed. Listen, the crowd loves him.
Yeah,
they're always going to love John Cena, but he's supposed to be a heel.
The Rock called everybody in Arizona drug-addled meth heads, and they still cheered him.
I don't think there's anything
we'll
John
see
Cena
some fallout. I think we'll see some fallout after the SummerSlam match, because obviously, if you have Cody turn heel and sell his soul to win the title, which obviously some, people were making notes of certain things that Cody did during that match to win the King of the Ring at Night of Champions, which, spoiler alert, if you weren't aware, Cody obviously won that shit. So, yeah. Some people are saying that he's going to be leaning into this heel character, plus with some interviews that have been done. It seems like as if there's a big push around that. So we're probably going to get at least an attempted double turn at SummerSlam.
So he tried to dance around this at AEW.
Yep.
To the point where they said to him, hey, man, what are you doing? Coming out in a suit and a tie and blah, blah, blah. You need to be a heel. And he comes out and he goes to Arn Anderson. That's not who I am. You guys want me to be a heel. I can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. And we hated him for it. We hate baby faces. We really did. When MJF became a baby face, after a while, it was getting really fucking tiresome. I'm not just a scumbag. I'm your scumbag. And I'm like, all right, that was cool. But I need you to really be a scumbag. And he turned his back on Garcia, and the rest was history. And now he's clock's going around again. With Cody Rhodes, here's my problem. I'm going to say something a little controversial here. I don't think he's that great on the mic. And I'm not talking about the lisp. I don't think he's got chops. Not as much as people think. He's got a look, and he's got the legacy behind him. And he leverages that really effectively. Cena doesn't have any better chops than he did 5 years ago, but he's better than all of these other guys on the mic, which is making him look good.
Well, that's the point I was kind of trying to make, was when you have top baby faces, you need top heels. And there's nobody to really, I mean, they were doing the Randy Orton, John Cena thing, and then that already happened, which I thought, they could have pushed that off, made that later on. Maybe his final match was against Randy. But
they bitched Randy Orton out when he didn't do the punt kick.
You really don't have somebody to go against Cody Rhodes or, Seth Rollins or John Cena to make them better. The Rock had Stone Cold. Mankind had The Undertaker.
Stone Cold had that they don't have now. They had one heavyweight belt.
Yeah.
And when you do one per show and then that pay-per-view runs around, my emotional investment in having two champions to the point where you're ambiguous as to who is more important is really grating. Because in the year 2000, we watched Raw. Then we waited and we got SmackDown Thursday and then Friday. And that champion floated. And that champion was the pinnacle. The World Heavyweight belt is constantly referred to as a secondary belt. And that makes Gunther, it is.
I know, but it's depressing.
It's depressing because it has the stature of what the Intercontinental belt had back in the Attitude Era. And the Attitude Era, any of those Intercontinental champions, including China, would have been a World Heavyweight champion. Now, you would have respected them top to bottom. And those were some of the most technical matches ever. And now, what's the IC belt look like? I can't even think.
Now you have 20 titles.
The IC belt now lost some shine. Who has got it now? I can't even remember.
Dominic, doesn't he?
Yeah. All right. So you have it on a comic relief stooge. Yep. He's not even able to defend it, and the gimmick is he's not going to. Okay, when China accidentally won it the second time around, which is really when it started getting misogynistic with her, because the first time she earned it against Jeff Jarrett and fought Jericho. The second time it was an accident, and then after that she was a women's champion and she was gone. Yeah. So that's what they thought of her. But in all the times that she had the IC belt, she fought like hell for it and sold the matches. Dominic's gimmick is I don't really deserve it. And I just got it because I fucked my partner over.
Yeah. And it makes you lose all interest. You lose all interest in those titles.
That belt means nothing. Now, the United States belt that does have some shine on it because it's on Solo Sikoa. Can we go into this one, Steve? Is this an
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
because Solo Sikoa won and the way in which he did, we see JC Mateo, we see Tongaloa, and then we get Hikuleo, Talatonga, whatever they're going to call him, because Michael Cole, I swear to God, they set Michael Cole up to fail.
Yeah, they did.
They
What's
set
his-
him up
what's
to
his
fail
name?
every time.
Talatonga,
Yeah,
Tall Tonga, basically.
which sounds like a name that Vince would have fucking come up
yeah,
with.
that's taller.
What do they
Tonga.
call him? They call him the Tongans. All right, he's a tall Tongan.
Yeah.
All right, how about Talatonga?
All I know is that match made Jacob Fatu look amazing.
But
Agreed.
now he's a baby.
I'm bummed. I'm bummed he lost the title. I think it was a little early.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen a little bit longer of a reign.
Where was Jimmy to eat a few fists?
Yeah.
Jimmy
But-
needed to come out there. I'm not in his. I don't know what you're thinking, Steve. Okay, I know not double entendre. I'm being serious, and I'm not talking about him taking it up the ass. No, I'm talking about he needed to come out there to do the save. He gets beat. He fights JC Mateo. Then the Tongans come out because JC Mateo is not a Tongan.
No.
He's just kind of a garden variety Samoan
Yeah.
or Australian or Hawaiian or wherever the fuck, whatever
Yeah.
state he comes from.
He's
or-
brown. He's brown. That's all.
He's brown
Yeah.
and he wears polka beads and a hula hoop and,
Yeah.
and a hula skirt.
Yeah.
Hey, but he's a bad motherfucker though.
He
Is
is.
He can pull it off.
He's a little short. All right. He's a little short. But that
here's the
that
problem
guy
with
can
him.
move.
Yes,
Yeah.
he can. He's another example of a guy who in any other promotion is
Yep.
king shit. Here,
Top guy.
He's a henchman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a henchman.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
I'm a big fan of factions. I think factions are very important. I think you
Yeah.
have to have factions and you have to have managers. You can't have
I
pro
agree.
wrestling. You can't have pro wrestling without those guys because they build up
Okay.
storyline, all that stuff. So
Gentlemen.
you need people like JC.
Yes. Now here's again. Now I've said this before. I said this last year. I'll say it again. What is November? Survivor Series War Games.
Yep.
Once a fucking again, 4 Islanders versus 4 Islanders. This is easy. And you know who laughed at me? Matt Michaels. And I said, wait a minute. You have the Usos, you have Roman Reigns, and you have Mr. Fatu wrestle the Tongans, the 3 Tongans, and JC Mateo were the 3 Tongans and Solo Sikoa. You do some version of that, or if Tama Tonga's not back, the 2 JC Mateo. And Matt said to me, "What do you want them to freaking lose?" Wait a minute.
Well, if
Those
you're-
4
if
guys
you're-
are fresh.
If you're gonna
Jimmy
have the
is-
bloodlines, you got to have Sammy,
right, but now and then you could do a 5-on-5.
and now you got to do Zilla. Zilla's coming.
You have options. You have options because if Solo Sikoa still has the belt, then he wouldn't be in that match. He could be the interrupter, but you would have a 4-on-4 or a 5-on-5. You use it as an opportunity to bring back a newly packaged Roman Reigns. And Michael's attitude was it would be lopsided. No, it wouldn't. Those guys are all new to the lineup, more or less. Jimmy is not at 100%.
Well, that's
Jay
how
is
you
not-
that's how you build those guys up.
right.
Exactly.
This
Exactly.
is the ultimate opportunity to have Bloodline versus Bloodline
To make some new main
Wolfpack
eventers.
versus the originals. For life. For life. I did the.
That's how you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how you progress people into the spotlight.
Yeah.
You have 8 people. You could literally have a bloodline per promotion,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
argue about who is the legitimate bloodline. There you go. You've got Solo Sikoa is the leader of the new bloodline. You've got Roman Reigns shows up at the classic bloodline or the OG bloodline. OG bloodline. Perfect. This is easy. It
Yeah.
writes itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And obviously it goes without saying, hometown ties here in Vegas. Solo Sikoa trained at FSW, Future Stars of Wrestling here in Las Vegas. Friend of the show. Actually, a couple friends of the show in that top image there. JC Mateo, had the distinct privilege of interviewing him at one of our live shows that we did, and Solo as well.
You mean Jeff Cobb. Let's
Jeff
do
Cobb.
let's put some respect on his name. Unlike one Mr. Killings who's disappeared.
Right.
He
No
could have
shit,
been,
man.
He should have been the one who shows up and interferes in that match. He's gone now.
Yep. Well, someone who's not gone is Jade Cargill. All right. I know that you want to rant about this, Rob.
Oh, here we go.
If we can pull you away from Goonin,
Hold on.
then yeah.
Here we go.
The first things first, when she comes out, she has everything you want in a superstar. She's got the look, she's got the muscles, she's hot, she's strong. All right. You want to see her in a bikini, you want to see her in a calendar, you want to see her on some Divas show. And she shows up dressed up as Storm. That's her running gimmick. She has done other characters in Marvel, DC, what have you. I think actually She-Hulk was really good when she did the sweating green skin.
Booker
Great.
in the MCU.
Okay.
Booker is the new Storm.
Whatever. No. And here's why not. The first thing we see, she does Storm and she holds it in the pose for 2 seconds and then starts ripping off the costume. And I'm like, all right, look, I don't know if they again, this is another one where they probably set her up to fail. She should have posed and struck that pose and milked it for everything it was worth. She rushed to the ring. She's dressed up like Storm. She did one little half twirl and then.
So
what are you
hold on. So Penta, we just went on Penta for taking too long to get to the ring.
Wait a minute. Penta's not in the match. Penta is going to save somebody. If I'm going to do a save, if you tell me right now, Rob, they're shooting
it's
at me.
It's a double standard. It's a double standard.
No, it's not. Not at all.
Double standard.
It's not.
They gave her a time limit. They said you have 40 seconds to get to the ring.
Wait a minute then.
We got to start this match.
Why did you take less time posing than Penta did when Penta wasn't even supposed to be posing? Penta's supposed to be running to the ring full speed. They can fuck around later.
Do you know how sexist Saudi Arabia is?
Do you know that all of those guys are secretly beating their meats in front of their covered wives?
Right.
There's a reason why they have all these women dressed up in Matrix gimps.
They booed her. They booed her when she was talking.
Yes.
They booed her when she won.
But they did not boo Asuka. They cheered for Asuka. They cheered for Rhea Ripley. They did not cheer for her because she sucks. And I didn't want her to suck. I wanted her to be successful. If you watch these old tapes of this show, these guys, okay, Matt Michaels, Sin City Steve, DJ Impact, Trevor, they all said, Rob, you're out of your fucking mind. She's not ready. She needs to be in NXT. And I said, bullshit. Triple H threw her on SmackDown and put her in front of Charlotte Flair. Then they threw her on Raw and they put her in front of fucking Becky Lynch. And then they put her on NXT and they didn't have her speak to anyone. She was sitting on a throne. If you're showing me that, you're telling me that you have complete confidence in her ability to wrestle these headliners, and she fucks up. They tagged her up with Bianca Belair because she's black and she has the same physique. That was a disaster. She was not in sync with Bianca Belair. In one of the matches, she wants to cut a pose, and Bianca Belair goes, you can hear her go, what are you doing? Get out of the ring. And then another time, she was asked to break up a tag, and you see her do this. And then she misses the breakup of the tag, and Bianca Belair just gets out on her own, and Michael Cole has to save it and goes, I think she tried to break up that tag, didn't get all of it. Didn't get all of it means you botched. Okay? That's a problem. I have a problem with you being uncoordinated. Now, in AEW, she looked amazing beating up on Red Velvet week after week after week.
So why did she look amazing in AEW?
They gave her jobbers. They gave her jobbers. And that's embarrassing because now she comes to they made her 60-1. So we came into this thinking, okay, 60-1, you had smart Mark Sterling backing you up. You had a tag team match with Shaq. Everybody puts you on a rocket right out of the gate. And then you get to the main roster and you botch over and over. Now, it wasn't Nia Jax botching where somebody gets injured. It's just sloppy. Her main finishing thing is she grabs you gets that lock in, and then licks her hands, and it's a sexy, seductive move. When she goes to pin Asuka, she falls on her ass.
Yes.
It was fucking embarrassing.
It's excitement, brother.
I wasn't
She's
excited.
excited to win.
No.
You can't be.
didn't
You
win
can't
left.
be mad
When
at
you
her.
go, hold on.
You can't be mad at her for being
This is
excited.
what the
She just
equivalent is.
became queen of the ring.
Hold on now.
Hold on, Rob,
Take
real
this
quick.
seriously,
Let me finish this
One.
thought real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
She just won queen of the ring.
No, she didn't.
She's excited.
No, she didn't.
You-
She didn't
you-
win Queen of the Ring as she's pinning Asuka. She won Queen
That's
of the Ring.
the win.
No. She did that. You know what that would be like? What is behind me right now? It says Vegas Bad Boys. That'd be
Rob,
like
have you
going-
ever won anything in your life?
Yes. This would be like me going 1, 2. Oh no. Because that's what it felt like.
Listen, I've seen a lot of people cry and bitch about that thing, and I see it as such a non-issue because
Here's
it's
the
like
issue.
she made it to WWE.
Yes.
She's in another country, representing her shit.
Doesn't matter where you
She's winning the Queen of the Ring. She's getting television time. Shit happens, man. These
Wait a minute.
wrestlers,
I'm a
these
comic.
wrestlers at
I performed
the smallest, shortest show with 10 people botch
When?
all day, every day. It
I'm
happens.
a comic.
They're
And,
human.
and let's break the fourth wall. You're a comic. You know
Yes.
goddamn well whether it's 10 people, 20 people, 100 people. When you win, it feels amazing. But let's say you even have a successful set, and in the middle of that set, a joke doesn't hit. And I
You
will
stutter
break that
and
fourth-
you go on. You move on.
right.
You
now,
don't go, oh my God, I'm sorry. I
What?
messed up. Let's
Wait, now,
stop
wait
the
a minute.
match.
Now, here's
Let's
my thing.
restart my set. I got to
Here's
start
my
from the
thing with
beginning
that,
because I
though.
messed up.
Here's my thing with that, though. In that moment where you botch a joke or it just doesn't land, there is a pause. There's that 1 second eternity where you have to do what you just said. You have to get your
You have to
shit
pivot.
together. Now,
Right.
she had one spot where she looked intelligent. Was Asuka does the hip attack and she picks her up and snatches her up in the middle of that attack. That was great. And I went, okay, but that's a 10-minute match and you had one spot. If you notice the look on Asuka's face, Asuka rolls her eyes and looks at the goddamn ceiling because Asuka could easily outwork this woman. She's faster than her. She's a better technical wrestler than her. She is doing her hardest to make Jade Cargill look good. And Jade Cargill gave you one spot of intelligence. And I mean wrestling intelligence. Anytime you're in the ring, the person that you're fighting against is your partner. You have to be responsible for their safety, but you also have to be able to lock up and call moves. Now, in WWE, not only are you calling how the match is progressing, but the referee is going to give you verbal commands. Not all promotions do this, but WWE, those refs have the earbud in there and they're going, yeah, I need you right now to do the hip attack. And they might go, okay, hip attack, and then we're going to break out of that and go into Falcon Arrow.
Yeah, we know how it
Fine.
works. We know how it works.
Fine, but maybe not everybody does. There's a lot of people who just watch it for the drama. What I'm saying is, outside of the drama, when you are not putting it together, look, she has a hard time. When she grabbed Asuka, she took 3 steps back. If that's Bianca Belair is going to grab her, lock her heels in, know her foot position, and sell it. Charlotte Flair would sell it. There was never a time where I feel watching a Jade Cargill match in WWE that she has complete command over her opponent. And that's a problem because it's visible. When she took that spill on the glass on the car, that was because they needed to send her ass back to the fucking developmental center.
So whose fault is it?
Triple H.
There you go. It's not
And now-
Jade's fault.
No. But
She's put in these situations.
I am aware
where-
of that. What did I say? She
Paul
set up the trail.
Heyman used to say this thing where he goes, I don't care what your problems are. I'm going to show the world what you're good at.
Fine, but
We're
they
gonna
haven't done that yet.
focus on your positives, and we'll
They
never
haven't done that.
Hey, that's a Triple H problem.
She's attractive. Yes.
That's the Triple H problem.
And her entrance can only take her so far. Look, one of the greatest entrances I ever saw was who was the guy? They fired him recently. He used to have the long hair. He shaved his head. Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin had this insane Mad Max thing with the 3 red wolves like logos, and he walked through them all. And he had this great beginning, and it went nowhere. And then they made him Happy Corbin. They didn't know what to do with him. Jade Cargill is rippling muscles. You cannot make her a stooge. The only place left that you have to take her now is to make her a heel. But they're not doing that. They're making her a babyface, which is a disastrous mistake because she is not over with the crowd. So the only thing you can do is you better have her fucking lose that challenge because she's not ready. She needs to be bitter, lash out at the crowd, and find her place. And she can do that.
Or you do what AEW did and you give her squash matches.
But no one's going to watch
over and over again.
Her.
Nobody watches women's matches anyway. Come on.
A minute. They do. If Asuka shows up, you're watching. If Io Sky shows up, you're watching. Okay? If
I thought they were the same person.
Asuka and Io Sky was this person whose gimmick is you overlook her and she beats you. And she beats you soundly. She is high flying. She is well timed. She's professional. Jade is not yet. She can be, but I don't know because this match with Asuka was terrible. And twice I paused it and scrolled back a little bit. And I'm like, is Asuka rolling her eyes? Because she goes, and then she slowly. You saw that, Steve? Did you not?
Yeah.
She rolls her eyes because what do? I have to slow. Let's go to a fighting movie. The last Bruce Lee movie was against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It was the Fighting Pagoda. I don't remember the full name of the movie. It was the movie by which he died in the production.
It's the tower. The tower where he went up the tower?
Yes. Okay. And the last fight in the Pagoda was against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the blind black guy who was a kung fu master. They were fighting at such an incredible speed that the cameras back in the 70s could not keep up with them. Asuka had to slow down and dumb down her performance ability because Jade cannot keep up at that level. Now, I get wanting to put Jade over. What I would have rather seen is one of two things. You either have Jade not wrestle. And why would you do that, Rob? Have Jade go after Naomi and try to disrupt Naomi's wins and successes. Then you can have a feud where the two of them just go at each other. Naomi's a veteran. Naomi's over as a heel. Naomi can make her look good. Naomi will take her time. Asuka fights at a very high technical speed. That was a bad matchup. They did not do Jade any favors.
Agreed.
And also she did one other thing. One last thought. I think she made a faux pas in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. If you notice, Cody refused to put that crown on his head. I don't know if there was something religious or cultural about that, but Jade did it and it was awkward. And then she goes, you have to fight through the booze. No, don't give me some fucking syrupy fucking promo. You're a beast. Own it. Why are you should have came out there and go, of course I fucking win. You think I give a damn if you like me? I'm fucking Jade Cargill.
And then thrown the crown in the trash.
Whatever. She didn't have to know. She could have done the
That's got to go back to the props department.
Yeah. You go out there and you go, yeah, bitch. What are you going to do? I'm Jade Cargill. I beat Asuka.
Well, this is
okay. That now.
Here's
go there now.
Here's my biggest issue, and it all comes down to this. You need good writers. All right. If you have a situation where you have somebody who is not like the whole Paul Heyman thing, you show people strengths, you never show them their weaknesses. If I'm booking Jade, I'm booking her beating up people backstage, interrupting matches, stuff like that. Yep. I'm not giving her a mic because
no.
And I'm not giving her full-time big matches at PLEs. She's not ready for it. And how you build somebody up is give them practice, over there, go practice over there, and then when you're ready, we'll have you beat up somebody backstage.
Maxwell
something like
Jacob
that.
Freeman, what is that promotion he used to work at? Is it MLW or MLZ?
MLW.
I watched it. And the gimmick was he was a kid who was hopped up on coffee. and he would spout off at the mouth, and they had to calm him down. And that gimmick carried over promotions and evolved him into what we have now. I trust him with a mic. Bianca Belair, girl, you don't even go here, with that whole delivery, and it's good. Now Naomi, proceed with caution.
So you gotta find what Jade's good at.
We
What
don't
she
know because they
can
never
do.
gave her that
What she
chance.
can do. Well, that's what they're doing right now. They're testing her to see what she
Yeah, but
can
you
and
don't-
cannot do.
That would be like giving a fucking student driver the keys to a Maserati.
Hey, either they're gonna crash it or they're gonna drive it.
No, you get your Honda Civic with the turbo and the big cherry bomb muffler first.
Sure.
Okay. Now,
But-
if you wanted to
But
get
that's
Jade Cargill,
that's not how Triple H does things. He throws you in the water and sees if you can swim.
wait a minute. Chelsea Green is over. Chelsea Green has ability. Chelsea Green has a crew. She doesn't have a belt right now. Zelina Vega had a belt and she was fucking boring. She's always boring. She is at best of ballet. She's at best of ballet. I don't care how good she
So
can
what do
ever
you
wrestle.
do? What do you do? You're booking Jade Cargill
Jade
for the next
Cargill
3 months.
has
What do
a
you do?
long now you're stuck. Now you're stuck. So here's what you do. You have Jade Cargill wrestle for the belt, and you know Naomi's going to come in and interfere and cost her. Now Jade Cargill fights Naomi post SummerSlam, loses because she's not going to beat Naomi as strong as she is, and now she's fucking jaded. And her gimmick is she just interrupts and fucks with people. But look at Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez put on a banger. I wanted her to win against fucking Rhea Ripley. I actually started believing for a moment, and she lost. Why? No charisma. Can't cut a promo. Now, is she better? I think she's actually better than Jade Cargill on the mic. But the way they're packaging her is they throw her in with other groups. I don't want that to happen to Jade. I don't want Jade to be the new Nia Jax. Nia Jax sucks. And she puts on banger matches here and there, but she does not have charisma. She flops down to the ring like she could barely be bothered. And she is a botch artist too. And gets people hurt, no less. And as good as any of her matches, like the match with Becky Lynch a few months ago, is anyone still talking about that? No. We forgot about that because you suck. That's why they took the belt on you and put it on Tiffy time. And by the way, Tiffy fought Charlotte Flair and sold against Charlotte Flair. I did not have a suspension of belief. With Jade Cargill, I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you making it look so fucking hard? You're
She's
making
not
it
ready.
look hard. You got to kneecap her. You got to screw her over. She has to feel the heat. She has to tell the crowd to go fuck themselves. She has to throw energy and fuck everybody over. See where she lands. She has to draw heat. She's getting the weak boos. Weak boos mean they're not interested in you. Remember when Roman Reigns was booed nonstop and he just went,
Yep. Yep.
I got Joe in the palm of my hands.
All right. So, any last thoughts on Night of Champions? We got to move on.
All right. The street fight. Fucking incredible.
Yep.
Minus one little faux pas, and it's like it makes it go from an A plus to an A minus. The table spot.
Yeah.
When the ref is holding the table, they did this at the AEW ladder match where Aubrey Edwards is holding the ladder in place. I get safety first. If you can't do the spot, don't do it.
Absolutely safety first.
When she pulls the left leg out, I'm going, wait a minute.
Absolutely safety first. But also as fans, we gotta just enjoy the show.
I agree.
I don't care who's I don't care. It doesn't bother me that a ref is standing there holding the table. He wants to make sure nobody
I don't care about
dies.
that. Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care about that. Likewise,
No.
the steel steps as well.
Bully Ray was flipping out about, and I go, wait. I went from it took the match from here to here, and that's how long.
That's it. It wasn't even that big of a thing.
All I know is that obviously operating everything with all of the wrestlers' safety in mind is the number one thing.
Yes.
And the thing that I really want to make sure of and illustrate to everybody with things like that if you're upset about it with WWE, you better be upset about it with AEW and vice versa. You know, if you're complacent when AEW does it, you better be complacent when WWE does it, because it's just the nature of the beast. Yeah,
Right.
Don't be a fucking hypocrite.
But Roxanne Perez, fucking amazing. Raquel and Roxanne, they have chemistry. I can see it already. I think they have more chemistry together than the other iteration of the tag team. I want them to retain their belts. I like what they're doing with Judgment Day. And Judgment Day is dripping in gold right now. Didn't think they could put more steam into this, but they have. And I like the way they've done it.
All right.
Yeah, it definitely has been a new wrinkle. So speaking of a new wrinkle in the schedule for 2026, if you didn't like this show being in Saudi Arabia, guess what? WWE is planning for 3 events in 2026 in Saudi Arabia. This from Fightful Select. So
it's just gonna be Vegas and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Vegas and Saudi Arabia. Those are going to be the two
Yay for us.
residencies. Hey, I'm down.
Listen, I'm stoked that WrestleMania is coming back to Vegas. Maybe we should make it an every year thing. I don't care, whatever. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
But come on, man. I used to be a big CM Punk guy. I was like, yes, I love CM Punk. He's amazing. I've always liked him. I enjoyed his stuff when he first started.
So you wish you were AJ Lee.
I was a big fan. Okay, big fan. Loved him in AEW. Loved him, But come on, man. At some point, if you're gonna say I'll never do a match in Saudi Arabia, stick to your guns a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
Here's a boatload of money.
There's stuff going on in the world that we have to be aware of, and things are getting weird and worse and whatever. We don't need to talk about all that stuff, but come on, more events over there doesn't seem like the right move. And it's hard.
Well, I'll tell you who it is
TKO
the
now.
right move for. It's TKO, and it's
Sure.
all about that money. They
Sure.
keep in mind what they got paid for SmackDown and Night of Champions. $150 million.
All right. Well,
2 shows.
let's just move the whole thing to Saudi Arabia. Let's just be Saudi Arabia wrestling.
Yeah.
I want to reiterate one thing, though. We don't want to objectify women. Having the women in fucking leather gimp costumes is ridiculous. It's
Listen.
even worse. Some
Listen.
of them in cut-off jeans. It's
Listen,
fucking
my wife's
insane.
not around right now, so I can say this freely. Rhea Ripley looked amazing with that
Hey,
belt.
look, her husband's injured right now. You can
Swinging
get in
that
there,
belt,
man.
swinging that belt. I was like, "Oh, honey, I gotta go."
All right, here's what I want you to do, Marcus. Be a man. I want you and your wife to take Rhea Ripley to Whispers.
Okay.
Okay, if you're a local, you know what that is. No, go to the Green Door. That's a sausage fest. Green Door's for tourists. You got to go to Whispers. You take her into Whispers, and you tell her, "Hey, look, Poppy's on top." I
Hey,
need you to mount Rhea Ripley,
she brings that belt. All right, just bring that belt, Rhea.
or just let one you either Rhea Ripley or your wife sit in your face, the other sit in the other half. You
All right,
enjoy yourselves.
All right,
This is
all right,
great.
All right, let's talk about Raw.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Go Raw.
Speaking of,
Go Raw.
Hey,
right.
what a segue.
hey, great segue there. So obviously, dude, is it me? I don't know if it's just me, but Raw fucking sucked. Like
Yeah.
the only things that were noteworthy were we have new tag team champions in the
Sure.
Judgment Day. So obviously
Okay.
Finn and JD have those titles. And oh yeah, El Grande Americano's
Yes.
not injured.
Yes.
Oh,
Chad
Oh,
Gable might be injured, but
I
El Grande
started calling him
Americano's not.
Poquito Americano. He's the little American.
And obviously it's very clearly Ludwig Kaiser. He's
Yes.
twice as tall as Chad Gable. and
yes.
just
Give me a second.
yoked.
Took
Yeah.
me a second.
Rob, I was in the car with Rob yesterday and we were watching
Yeah.
Raw, and he goes, oh, maybe Chad Gable isn't injured, and I go, look at it a little closer. Look
No,
at
I
it,
just
just
saw the mask. I'm driving. I've
yeah.
got this on my cell phone. I'm driving. And I
Yeah.
see the mask. I'm like, oh, he's not hurt after all. I
No,
thought the whole
no.
big
Look
arm.
again, buddy.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I
Um,
love that the internet meme of Ludwig Kaiser being El Grande Americano came onto the show. I think that's great.
That's awesome.
Can we
That's so
address
good.
one thing though? One of
Sure.
our local
Absolutely.
guys finally got his due. And that would be Karrion Kross is
Yes.
finally from Raw, getting him to, slap the shit out of him, to come into Night of Champions, to doing the backstage stuff on Raw. This guy is finally being used the
I worked,
right way.
I
He's
worked
finally being
WrestleMania.
used. He's
I
finally
worked-
being used, but to what degree?
I worked WrestleMania weekend with my boy Bishop 3-4 years ago. It was in Dallas. And we were doing a bunch of indie shows. I was managing him. He came from Wales. And we were hanging out backstage at TNA. We were waiting for a TNA show. I think it was like GCW and then TNA. And we're just hanging out. And I gotta say, Karrion Kross is one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Absolutely.
He's such a good dude. He was like, he's like, what are you doing? And I was telling him about Catch Pro, and I was like, Jody's my champion, and he goes, I love that kid. Karrion's such a good guy. It's nice seeing Karrion get some TV time, especially being Triple H's boy. Triple H brought him back.
Fucking Michael Cole having to throw shade.
Yeah.
This guy's picking up some steam from the IWC lately. What
Yeah.
was that about? I'm like, oh, please,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah.
please. Just,
Yeah, they gotta give him something to
Michael
do.
Cole.
Yeah, they got to give him something to do. The more TV time for him, the better.
Absolutely agreed, man. Karrion Kross is he's actually appeared on our podcast feed as part of one of the episodes of the DeFalco Files. So yes, Karrion Kross, friend of the show, finally being used. And like I know I threw out the joke of to what degree just a minute ago, but the fact is, traditionally WWE doesn't favor those people that get over organically. If they get over outside of the realm of the WWE push that they receive, they've been very resistant to actually proceed with the organic type pushes. We can only hope that they break from tradition this time around under new ownership. Kross has a couple of new T-shirts up on WWE Shop, so they're getting the merchandising behind him, and let's just hope that this stuff continues for him, because as you said, Marcus, he's definitely deserving, and he is a world-class guy, man.
Yeah,
but
it'd be nice.
He could fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'd
Absolutely.
be nice if they don't treat him like Zack Ryder with the Internet Championship.
No shit.
Because he got over on the internet.
We give all right, we'll give you this little hold
Yeah.
on. There you go. That's
I would just like to see him doing a little bit more. I like what he's doing with Sami Zayn. I like the whole "you're a liar, admit it, you're a liar." I like to see where this goes.
He's bullying Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn is everyone's baby face forever. So now
Yeah.
Sami Zayn has to put up, and it's taking him away from his own personal goals for gold. So this is good.
Yeah,
So let's see Zayn.
I like to see
step
it,
up.
steal it from him. Sammy going for some gold and Karrion
Yeah.
ruin it for him. It'd be
Good.
good stuff.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Scarlett is no fucking just garden variety valet either. Let's not
No.
take anything away from her.
No.
If she wanted to, she could perform in that ring.
Oh yeah.
She did it in
Absolutely.
TNA against men, no less. And again, wasn't bad.
Right.
I'm not saying I would do it here, but she can wrestle.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And so obviously a lot of WWE programming this past week, but let's change gears here and let's talk a little bit about AEW and this past week on Dynamite, which featured 2 4-ways, which that seems to be the gimmick of the month of June, was running 4-way matches.
I'll jump in that first 4-way.
Yeah, pretty much, man. But you mentioned that that first 4-way: Willow Nightingale, Athena, Thunder Rosa, and Chris Statlander. The winner of the match getting the first spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at All in Texas. And it just so happened to be Chris Statlander after some help, some outside interference from the Death Riders of all people. They've been doing some good things with foreshadowing this, and maybe we could see Chris Statlander assuming a role in the Death Riders, especially if the rumored women's tag team championships show up there. You could easily put Statlander with Shafir and have them be a designated tag team, go after that. But yeah, unfortunately, this match, there were some clunky ass spots in this match. Let's be real. They did get it back under control, but there in the middle, yeah, not good.
It happens.
So, yeah, it definitely happens.
This is a difference, though, from what I was talking about in WWE. This could be the scenario of people just not gelling together because all four of them are individually good. They know their roles and they know what to do.
Yeah.
You throw them all
solid
together, it might be too much of a soup.
Yeah. It also depends on who's calling the match.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know,
I'm going to give that one a pass.
Sounds good. Sounds good. The other four-way, though, was a fucking banger in all caps. You had Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Roderick Strong, and the ROH World Champion Bandito in a four-way. And I'll be dipped in shit. Mark Briscoe is the winner and gets the #1 spot in the men's Casino Gauntlet match.
I like to see where this goes. I'd like to see if Mark gets a decent singles run.
Would it be safe to almost call him? I don't know if he doesn't have a lot of holds, he's not a technical wrestler, but he's a very skilled wrestler.
Yeah.
He's an incredibly skilled wrestler, and his timing is great. His instincts are good, and he can take chops. He can dish out chops. He's a very versatile guy, and he's good on the mic.
Yeah.
You could pair him up with people or send him out on his own. Jay Briscoe was always the one everyone looked at, and without him, you go, "Oh, this guy's going to be a nostalgia act for a year." No, this guy is. We're past that.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
I agree entirely.
They did it at first. They played it. They
did
the toe in the water, and he's still running with his brother's music out of respect. But I would almost say at this point he could afford to not even do that video feed. They can update his entrance theme, and I would be all right with that. He's established himself. He is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And something else that we got to talk about. We got to talk about it, man. Kota Ibushi, his return to the ring after 2 years of being gone against Trent Beretta. And, it definitely wasn't the Ibushi of old, but he didn't look bad out there, man. He didn't do a whole hell of a lot in this match, but he did pick up the dub. And it sets the stage for Dynamite 300 next week, where we have Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi on free TV.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Yes. I'm excited. As a New Japan guy, I love it. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, but like the majority of that, half of AEW is New Japan and the other half is WWE.
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is realistically to the large sample size, a lot of the stuff that would be classified as New Japan is brand new because let's be real, while there is a good crossover between the two promotions, there's still a good amount of people in the US that have never checked out New Japan for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal stuff week in, week out, month in, month out. And we'll talk about a major title change.
I just don't like the New Japan fans. They're so fucking monotone Japanese fans. It could be the greatest spot ever. And they're going.
That's their culture.
Japanese wrestling.
That's their culture,
that's
man.
their culture.
I know. I know that. And the promos that they cut.
Oh, yeah.
I beat you. And next time, I will endeavor to do even better.
Listen, I watch New Japan like I watch Dragon Ball Z. All right. I think a lot of it is just like I'm gonna be better than you, and it's
Yeah, I
entertaining.
watch New Japan like I watch Dragon Ball Z too, with JR doing the fucking dub because fuck that shit. Hey in there, we got a. Hold on, I got some whiskey and barbecue, so get that off there.
Could you
let's
imagine
go to a
JR
boot.
dubbing Dragon Ball Z? That'd be
Oh,
amazing.
jeez.
And next time on Dragon Ball Z, that fella right
Hold
there.
on,
oh
hold on.
my
I
God,
gotta talk
Super Saiyan,
about my sauce.
Super Saiyan 2, Super
He
Saiyan.
has a
just gotta-
family.
You know what I'm going to do after this show is I'm going to hit up an AI bot and I'm going to
Yes.
have Jim
JR.
Ross.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to get a script from DBZ and
Yes.
have fucking AI generate some shit.
Text that to me.
Oh my God, God is my witness. He is broken in half.
He has a family, Goku.
Command wave.
That would
Sound
be
just
fucking
did a
hilarious.
Sound just did a goddamn command wave. That's not right. Damn it. He's just a kid.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, God damn it. So he's got a wife and a kid.
But yeah, Dynamite was solid, and taped immediately following was Collision,
Yes.
and on this match, the biggest thing that you'll hear about is obviously the Battle of the Kyles, or as was dubbed this week, Kylision, because the crowd for
Loved
the
it.
entire duration of the O'Reilly Fletcher match, they were chanting for Kyle. God damn it! And
Which
they were
Kyle,
doing
though?
every chant.
Which Kyle,
Every
though?
chant. Whose house? Kyle's house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kyle's shit.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, man, that match was very solid. You also did have Adam Cole versus Josh Alexander in a fucking banger.
Yes.
Collision was a sneaky good show this week.
Absolutely.
I always like anything with Queen Aminata.
Oh yeah, dude. In the in case y'all didn't see it, the match was Sky Blue. Aminata picked up the win with her off with her head kick to Sky's face, and bro, it just looked stiff as shit.
It looked
like-
amazing.
It looked like she kicked her fucking head off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good shit. Yes, go ahead. Oh yeah,
Sky.
you got Rob trying to do the one and only.
Oh my God.
But,
All right, hold on. Now, Queen Aminata, I don't know if you're here on a work visa, and this offer was given to Jade Cargill, but as of late,
God.
she has not earned
God.
a spot in my bed no more. Now, I want to go straight to Africa. You're right from the source, Mama Africa. Okay. And that offer stands. If anyone from ICE comes to your place, you have my permission. You do many stiff kicks as you want. We've got this guy over here in Vegas called Ed Bernstein. Enough said. All right. We will get you out. All right. We will make it happen.
You're
Okay.
starting to sound like you're trying to get a deal in Saudi Arabia.
No, not Saudi Arabia. We want her with some clothes off. Okay.
I mean the money.
Oh, well, look, all I'm saying is, Queen.
Did the
Can
Ed Bernstein check clear or what?
Well, I deliberately didn't say his names just in case. But if that becomes a problem, I have another lawyer in mind, and he's the way to go. Call 877. You know the rest. All right.
All right.
You wouldn't do that to your car.
You wouldn't download a cut. All right.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing that is pretty interesting in I can't believe that you mentioned it earlier, Rob, but you asked how or which promotion MJF was a part of before he got to AEW, and it just so happened to be MLW. And oh my God, he returned to MLW this week and attacked Mystico and
Yes.
left him lying, furthering
Yes.
their storyline.
I like
as-
I like Mask Collector MJF. I like it.
Yeah. And that plays into this coming week's Dynamite 300 because MJF is a part of, they're doing 4-ways again this week. And this is going to be for the second spot in the casino gauntlet matches. And it just so happens that MJF is one of the 4 guys that are going to be in presumably another banger. You got MJF, Brody King, Anthony Bowens, and who's going to be there to eat the pin? AR Fox. We already know
All
AR
right.
Fox is eating that fucking pin.
All right. Listen,
So-
I might be the only one in this room, but I want Brody King to win it.
Yeah.
What is
Brody King, I
I
could
love that
see
guy.
him.
I
I
love
could see
Brody
him
King.
winning it.
Put a rocket on that guy. Shoot him to the stars. That guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, here's another example though of a guy that was healed that went babyface without a direction, and you let him rot on the vine for too long.
Yep.
Okay,
I agree.
you know
with
what
that.
a ripe lime looks like? It's orange, and that means it's not good to eat anymore. That's Brody King. You waited too long. I hope I'm wrong. I would like to see him get a mid belt.
He's
mid.
having a lot of good matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely stepped it up for sure.
He needs to, and
Sure.
but he's by himself now. Unless he has Sky Blue and the cheerleader come out with him as the new Hounds of Hell.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he teamed up with Templario on Collision this past week, which was a fever dream in itself. Because can you get any more buried as far as your tag partners? But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think this is going to play in because Mystico isn't going to just take to getting jumped at MLW. I could genuinely see Mystico coming back, costing MJF this match. And if the rumors are true, this just pushes that into the stratosphere as, mask versus hair could very well happen.
Yeah.
Mystico versus MJF at All In, or as the internet's calling it, Y'all In, because it's taking place in Texas, in Tejas.
I don't know.
MJF will lose his hair. He will
Yes.
come out the following week with more spray tan on to look black
Yes.
like
Yes.
the rest of them.
Yeah.
And
I don't see
that's what it's
Mystico losing his match. He's way too over in Mexico. Mexico loves that guy. He's still in his prime, so
Yeah.
I don't see him losing his mask.
MJF comes out with a goatee or some shit, looks like Stone Cold. He'll grow his hair back though. I don't think MJF
He'll
will
do
bald.
the Hulk Hogan NWO, like
Oh, God.
black mustache, white beard kind of thing.
Oh no, he was either the reverse. He had the white
Yeah,
handlebars with
the white
black.
handlebars. Yeah, he'll do that. He'll do something like that. It'll work.
And so other matches that have been announced for Dynamite 300 this week, the main event presumably is going to be for the TBS Championship as Mercedes Moné will defend against Mina Shirakawa. You've got Ibushi and Okada, as I mentioned, and two matches that while we have been recording just now are being announced for the show. And peeling back the curtain, we're recording this on a Tuesday night. So less than 24 hours from now is Dynamite 300, and they are just now putting the card together, which is a fundamental problem with AEW. But that's for another day. We've got a trios match of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong and Bandito against the Young Bucks and Konosuke Takeshita, which could be fucking solid. And also we've got Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland taking on Dralístico and who else? The Beast Mortos, who since he's made his relationship with Mercedes public, just so happens to be on every AEW show as of late.
That's weird. That's weird.
But both of these matches are actually being sponsored by Superman in theaters July the 11th. So AEW getting the tie-in with these mainstream IPs, it's definitely good. I just wish they would book this shit further out.
I mean, it's no Slim Jim.
Sell tickets. Sell tickets.
No, but here's the thing. You can do it. As an entertainer that you have to build a following and you have to build an excitement. And if you do it the night before, nobody is emotionally invested in what you're doing. We could complain about what WWE does by going into a story for way too goddamn long and getting people losing interest. But this is the opposite. This is
you gotta ask yourself.
Night of.
You gotta ask yourself, why are these matches happening? You know,
But no, but,
and
but
that's
I'm not.
and
But
that's
here,
the
I want to say
problem.
something about that.
So
I'm not asking myself that because I'm going, wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
At the last minute? And then
Yeah.
and then I'm like, all right,
yeah.
let me fast
Well,
forward
my
there's something
my
on the line.
my favorite booker of all time, Paul Heyman, used to grab a napkin and he'd say, "Who's here? Oh, okay, you versus you," and that's how he did the card every night.
Right, but
So
he
I
was
mean,
also running what was considered to be an indie program, and back in the late 90s, they were looking at tapes. They were looking to do matches. This is a major league promotion on a major network. You have to build the audience. You cannot do it like you're an indie show. You're thinking like an indie promoter who's just trying to put on banger matches.
yeah.
This is the point of building your audience and going beyond the base. The base likes that indie
Well,
mindset
not
of
not
tapes.
everybody can have a work. Okay, look at AEW's roster and how big it is. Not everybody's going to have an ongoing storyline enough time for television every week. If you want to have some of these guys that aren't getting reps every week, you got to throw them in matches, and you got to just be like, all
But
right, well, we're going
that's
to have this kind
what
of
they
match now.
had Dark Elevation Ring of Honor for.
Well, they don't have those anymore, do they?
They still have Ring of Honor.
Well, okay, but you can't
You
have
still have
every
Ring of Honor.
No one
AEW
watches
guy
it.
on Ring of Honor.
And also,
Right.
if you're going to do here's the other thing. If it's a 300 episode, no.
It's got to be big. It's got to be
You
big.
do not slap matches together at the last minute
No,
on
you
episode
don't.
300. That is embarrassing. That means you're not prepared. I should
Exactly.
be going into 300 with incredible anticipation, not because I don't know what's going to happen, but because I know it's going to happen.
Exactly.
Just- okay,
it
but
has
you're
to tie in
you're having the
with
biggest
All In.
pay-per-view. You're having the second biggest pay-per-view of the year a week and a half after.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's even more reason it all has to tie in. That's called storytelling.
Well,
Everything
that
that
is
they
already
do,
those stories are already set.
right? So
So that's-
I need. This is what WWE does well. They're going to go, okay, so we now introduced another main character. We took a belt off one of our beloved guys who was over with the fans. Now we've got momentum, and we can drag this out for months to come. And they're doing that with Jon Moxley and the Death Riders, but they're not doing that with all of their other guys. If you're going to have anything happening with with a freaking Swerve Strickland and his tag partner, then you cannot put him in what would essentially be a dark match for these other two guys. Okay, I need to know that my opponents are just as important as my baby faces, or vice versa.
Here's something you're not thinking about though. Say you have this banger 300 episode match card, and somebody like Moxley gets injured.
No,
Now you
No,
got
this-
Now you got to change.
that
now
can
you gotta
happen at any
change-
time.
All right. That's why, as a smart promoter, you
But
got
you
to
still
say
put him there.
you gotta
could still
treat-
have him run
you got
interference.
to
You can
treat
still have him
certain
cut a
you got to
promo.
treat certain shows like B card, C card shows.
Not
Unfortunately,
300.
unfortunately, this is the wrong time to do that. I agree with
Yeah.
you, but also you have to think long term. If I have this huge pay per view that we're trying to sell 17,000 people to, you can't take the chance that somebody important is going to
you
get
have
injured.
to do the opposite.
You
have
can't.
to double. You
You
have
already
no choice.
you already have All In booked.
Well,
already
wait a
have
minute.
the
Wait a minute.
stories booked.
That doesn't
You
matter.
already
to me.
have.
If
That's,
I'm
but you're not running the business, and you're not
Oh,
understanding.
if
you're
I'm
not
running the
understanding.
business and I am not building and layering stories, if I'm doing a thrown together match the night before, a week and a half out, and I am not building on the momentum of the story that's going to get you, not you, the promoter Marcus, you, the Mark Marcus, who has to shell out $50 to watch this, and now a week and a half out, you don't have to have them wrestle.
You
They
know
can
how
come out
pissed
there-
I'm going to be as a fan if somebody, God forbid, somebody gets injured at the 300 show trying to make a banger show, and then I don't get to see them at All In because they're injured.
Hey,
I would way rather wait until All In,
no.
see
no.
these banger matches
But
because
here's
it's a
the
great
problem.
card.
But here's the problem with your analogy. They put those guys in the match anyway against nobodies. So why would you, by your own logic?
Because it's a
by-
throwaway show. I know I
No,
hate.
it's not.
It's a
It's
throwaway
not.
show.
You.
It's a throwaway
you-
show because of the pay per view.
Pause.
You can't have
You
Banger
cannot
A
tell
card.
me- But wait a minute.
You can't have Roman Reigns do every show right before WrestleMania.
Wait a minute.
You can't do it.
I'm going to use your logic. Your logic was, I don't want to risk Will Ospreay or Swerve Strickland. They're too important, right?
Nope.
Okay. They are or they are not.
So you have them in a tag match where they don't have to do all the work, and
But
they
we
can
know
still
that,
be
but
on. They can still be on TV,
Wait a
still
minute.
get
Wait a minute.
TV
What
time,
I'm saying is,
but less chance of injury.
wait a minute now. They have been leading up to All In as a tag team. We know that. And they are not doing anything to interact with their opponents, which are the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks are the EVPs. So
They're saving it for the pay-per-view.
We now
Saving
know
it for the pay-per-view.
We now know wrong. We now know that they're going to have this throwaway match and the Young Bucks are going to interrupt. So you're doing it anyway. You could have
So
done.
what do you want? So hold on, real quick.
I'm going to tell you. They could have done a 4-versus-4. They could have did a contract signing. They had a lot of different ways they could have approached this, where they could have announced that these two factions are going to be involved. But having a match that distracts you from the main storyline is irritating. Why do I have these guys? The whole point of this is that you build up the anticipation of Young Bucks versus Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. Now you're distracting me from that.
If I take Dynamite 300 and I have many versions of my pay-per-view matches, who's going to watch the pay-per-view?
WWE is one of the most successful promotions of all time. They do this year over year. They always do this. They always reiterate the storyline.
And then they have throwaway matches where they have
not
JC and Braun Breaker versus this guy.
But it doesn't matter. It's still involving that faction versus, and they're not going to do that.
So every show should have John Moxley at some point on the card.
As we're getting closer and closer to the big event, yes, you have to. Yes,
I want the anticipation of not seeing him on my screen.
Look, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a simple example. What did they do when Brock Lesnar was champion? Brock Lesnar would come out the week before, and everyone, they didn't hate him because he was the heel. They hated him for his shitty work ethic. You will not win me over and get me over if you are not going to put in the sweat equity, if you are not going to show up, and if you don't have enough written material to bring your guys and to build week over week over week over week. They did it in AEW when Hangman. What did Hangman do and what did Swerve do? Swerve came up and he says, I'm going to take the money that you got me, Nana, and buy a house. We had a match where we had with chains and barbed wires. I bought a house. Fucking Hangman birds it down. We kept ratcheting it up and ratcheting it up and ratcheting it up. That's the point of wrestling, is to go each week as we get closer to that pay-per-view, is to go, wow, how can I top what you did to me last week? How can I top what I did to you last week? Fucking A. And then Rob, that match, there's so much anticipation. But when you throw in some luchadors from another promotion that have nothing to do with the storyline that you're building up, I am so uninterested now in your final product because you were so sloppy in your execution. There is zero excuses. You cannot tell me, oh, they're going to get injured. You can get injured anytime, anywhere, any place. That is not an excuse. You don't have to be in a ring. You could have had a one-on-one. You could have done a 5-minute rush match. You could have had one guy versus the other. You could have had Ospreay.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. How come NBA stars don't play in the G League all the time?
This isn't the NBA.
Because they can get injured.
Pause. NBA is not about telling stories. NBA is about matches and numbers. This is about telling stories.
It's about entertainment.
This is the industry that you're in.
Entertainment.
This is the end. And the entertainment element of it is that
it all comes back to, are we going to get people to watch the next show?
That's right. And I'm not going to watch if you're going to distract me from your main story.
You're not going to skip All In just because they had one bad Dynamite before.
If Cody Rhodes,
come on, brother.
Cody Rhodes, wait a minute. Are you silly now? Are you high?
I'm Cody Rhodes as it gets. What's the problem?
The week before WrestleMania. Ron Killings did not fight Cody Rhodes the week before WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes cut a 20-minute promo before WrestleMania.
So what do you
what
want?
I'm saying
You
to
want
you is- what I'm
Dynamite to
saying
be
to you-
9
What I'm
promos?
saying to you is, they don't have to wrestle.
They can't
They
win
can
with
cut a
you.
promo. But what you're not going to do is take me out of that story. You do not take me on another train tracks ever.
Done. So
No,
okay,
no,
so hold on.
You
So
don't
hold
get
on.
off the
Real
railroad.
quick.
You got
Real-
off the
real
train
quick.
and you started
So-
walking. What are
So
you doing?
Dynamite should have a Young Bucks versus Swerve and whatever match, and then Collision should have a Young Bucks versus Swerve and Hangman match, and
It's
then
a
the
week-
pay-per-view,
it's a weekly
and then the
programming.
pay-per-view should
Wait a
have
minute.
that match
Wait
as
a minute.
well.
You're not
Come
thinking.
on, brother.
You're not
Nobody
thinking.
wants to see that much
Yes, they
of
do.
those
You're
guys
not thinking.
interacting
Yes, they do.
in such
You're
a
not thinking
short
clearly.
time.
You were thinking in the lens of a promoter
Thinking
who
big
wants to-
time. They have a
Wait,
chance to
you're
make
thinking
really
in the
good
lens-
money.
You're thinking in the lens of a promoter who wants to protect their talent, not
Yes.
from a writer's perspective. You were concerned about,
I want my
Will
talent to be
Ospreay.
there when the day comes.
They will get there because your job as a promoter and a writer is to also find a way to write a storyline by which they either perform or they get on the mic and cut a promo.
Sure.
And even if they did a break apart, it didn't have to be a match. They could have cut a promo. The Young Bucks get down there. They have a quick little scuffle. They do the break apart where the referees come. And now you build it up. They don't
Sure.
have to have a match. They don't
Sure.
have to have a match. But what you will not do is diminish two things. You will not diminish the build up to their really important pay-per-view, number one. And number two, you will not take the 300th episode and put filler matches in the 300th
So
episode.
what are you supposed to do? First, you're saying they
Hold
should
on,
go out there.
Marcus, I
hold
told
on,
you multiple
hold on,
times.
real quick. You just said, let's have them interact in some way. So this whole Dynamite should be spent on promos and breakups and
No, no.
semi matches. Come on,
You're
you can't
every
have it
match
both ways.
yes, you
You
can.
have to have
You
have to
do
have a
get it both
show
ways. You
with
do get it both ways.
matches. No,
Hold
you
on.
have to have it one way or the other. Either you
No,
have
no,
9 promos.
Hold on.
You have
Dude,
9
not enough.
promos.
Let's get some fucking decorum in here. Jesus.
All right, Steve.
Yeah, let me
fucking
talk.
educate
You
him.
just took 40 seconds and just
All
went
right,
on a
that bell
tirade. Let
means-
me
that bell
react.
means it's- Steve,
All right.
referee.
All right. So, just because obviously we're butting up at 90 minutes for the show so far, so we've got to be
Your 2
circling
cents.
the drain here a little bit. So, but yeah, as we look forward to All In, obviously we've got the Unified Championship match, Omega and Okada. You've got the World Championship, Moxley and Page. Women's Championship, Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. The 2 gauntlet matches, one for the men, one for the women, and more left to be announced. So yeah, we are coming up on the show. Today is the 1st of July. So, I mean, we've got 2 Dynamites left. So that's, yeah, I think that's enough time to fill out that card. I wouldn't be surprised if they add quite a few matches over the next couple of weeks. But kind of pivoting a little bit to somebody that is no stranger to virtually anybody in AEW. Shout out to Zack Sabre Jr.
Yes.
for winning the IWGP
Yes.
World Championship from Hiroki Goto at the Tanahashi Jam event for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Marcus, I know you're a big
Good
New
stuff.
Japan fan. Talk
Yes.
about it, fan.
You know, Zack Sabre Jr. is probably the greatest wrestler of our time. He is probably
In-ring.
the most in-ring wrestler. Very talented guy. I love watching his matches. I'm very excited that he is again champion. You know, it was a phenomenal match. Zack Sabre, you know, one of those guys where you just find yourself rooting for him every time. So it was nice seeing him become champ.
Absolutely. And one thing that I think really needs to be talked about with this is the timing of it. He wins the championship right before the G1 Climax tournament
Yeah.
and right
Now he
before
goes-
Forbidden Door.
Yep. And he's got to go into that tournament as champ.
Yep, exactly. And if anybody can and will perform extremely well, meet all the expectations, it is ZSJ.
I
As
thought
far
Forbidden
as
Door was going to be the Beast Mortos and his new lovely girlfriend Mercedes Moné after the show.
that's on the OnlyFans. So
Oh my God.
yeah. So
Does he wear the
you,
mask?
you gotta pay. You gotta pay for that shit.
Yeah, that's
I
not
might
free.
pay. I might pay for that. I don't know.
You would. You would. Interspecies erotica. Gotta love it.
C-U-M. 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 C-U-M.
And you know, speaking of interspecies something, there's a pretty interesting match that's been announced for the AAA show, and you've got La Hiedra and Mr. Iguana, who has taken the internet by storm,
Yes.
going against Santino Marella and
Woo!
Lola Vice. So you got TNA talent, you got NXT talent, you got AAA talent, and by God, you got the Iguana versus the Cobra, and it's
Yes.
going down in AAA.
Yeah, well, Cobras usually win those fights.
We'll see what happens,
You
man.
son of a bitch. Oh,
I think
wanna-
that the ultimate winner in that match will be the fans, though, because that's
Yeah, I
gonna be a
wanna
fun
see-
time.
I want to see what kind of cool name Santino comes with for the Iguana.
Oh God! And speaking of, I don't have a graphic for it, but just announced earlier today, La Hiedra is evidently under contract now with WWE. So
Oh, wow.
she is the latest AAA signee. So shout outs to her and
HBK is
congratulations.
loving that.
Dude, HBK has been on a tear, and we'll see what happens. But
until Vince
you know-
McMahon buys the company back and fires them all.
Oh God.
oh God, speaking of Vince McMahon, let's take a dump. There you go. Caught in 4K, Rob.
Oh, I love it.
All right. And kicking us off is going to be something that is great and near and dear to all of us on the panel.
Yep.
Kevin Cross, Killer Cross, Karrion Cross, whatever you want to call him. Didn't ask for shortcuts, didn't ask for favors. We just showed up every time, staying ready, even when no one was watching. Saudi Arabia, you saw it, you felt it, and that means more than you know. To the rest of the world watching with your never-ending support, thank you for reminding us who this is really for. So awesome
Love
stuff.
Love it.
Even in defeat, Cross and Scarlett, yeah,
Yeah.
making a showing. And speaking of somebody else that's on a journey, Brian Cage, friend of the show, had celebrated a personal milestone, and removing any kind of discussion about religion out of this. He took a major step in his life, and he got baptized. So congratulations to him on that.
Respect. Respect.
Absolute respect. Absolute respect. Brian Cage, one of the best guys in the business. Not just, in ring or not just wrestling related, but as a person, Brian Cage is a super great guy and actually one of the better guys that I've had the chance to speak to.
For a second, I thought that was Alexander Hammerstone.
They do look alike in terms of the body because
Yeah.
they're both fucking jacked.
Yes.
So
Good for him.
Speaking of somebody who's not particularly jacked, Charles Robinson at least checks in and lets us know that he is still alive.
Oh,
So yeah,
I
that's
saw-
one
I
hell
saw-
of a picture too.
I saw a meme of him laying in the arena still, like after everything had cleared out.
Hell yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God! But that was smart. How smart was that?
Yeah, it was
I
good.
wasn't even angry that
I
Cena did
popped.
that. But
I
that was
popped
so
for
smart.
it. Yeah, I was like,
Fucking
that's good
fucking
stuff.
I was
Little
like-
Nate.
Flying.
Little Nate eating shit. You gotta love it.
Yes.
Oh man.
And elsewhere, we got the band is back together. Drew
Yes.
McIntyre tweets it out. And you got Jinder Mahal, Heath Slater, and Drew McIntyre, the former 3MB, now, celebrating Jinder's wedding. So that's
Yes.
dope.
Can't hinder the gender.
Can't hinder the gender, man.
And so they all going to end up on Maple Leaf Wrestling too?
It wouldn't be surprising, man. Give it time. It'll happen. Scott D'Amore is, he'll wheel and deal on that shit. Elsewhere, we had a pretty interesting exchange, and one of the newest signees to NXT, Blake Monroe, didn't happen to know that cockroaches could fly. She was freaking out
that's
about
funny.
cockroaches in her place as she just moved to the States, and just saw a cockroach the size of my head. Florida, I am through with you. Bailey just says it's so cool when they can fly too, huh? Yeah. Sorry.
I like how Blake is not certified yet. She doesn't have the official stamp.
Yeah, exactly. Not certified, not verified just yet.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
Speaking of somebody who's verified as fucking crazy, you know, haters will say it's photoshopped, but Darby Allin is looking to take a bite out of Shark Week, so evidently he's going to be heavily featured on the Shark Week programming on Discovery. So you do love to see AEW and Discovery actually doing brand synergy.
That guy wants to do everything but wrestle.
Well, you know, I think he's gonna have a hand in there being a new champion. I think that it's gonna be he and Bryan Danielson that end up making their presence known and finally helping to vanquish Jon Moxley.
Now, outside of the fact that he finds some idiotic ways to injure himself outside of the ring.
What, you mean like getting hit by NY City buses?
Yeah. Or trying to climb Mount Everest.
Climbing Mount Everest, yeah.
Hey, he was successful. He was successful.
Skateboarding on Mount Everest.
Yes, here's the thing with that. He's smart because he builds his brand up to the point where he does not have to put as much work on the mic or in the ring, and you have an anticipation for him. He is incredibly intelligent. Incredibly intelligent.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's really smart.
And you know, speaking of incredibly smart, after the reception that the two Kyles got at Collision, Bryan Danielson came out and answered Max Caster's open challenge, tapped him in about 8 seconds with the LaBelle lock, and then he joined the Paragon for one night, put over Kyle O'Reilly big time, and as his music played and they sent the crowd home happy, in the same John Cena white font on black imagery, it just simply said Kyle Danielson.
I love it.
Kyle Danielson.
I love it.
When do we see him come back? You think he's going to show up? Oh, all in. He's another one that you got to have.
I think he said him and Darby.
He's going to put a knee. I think he's going to put a knee in Moxley's face and be the one to actually cause Moxley to lose that title.
Yeah, you got to do it. I want to know where this fucking belt is. I want them to crack open that suitcase.
I'm tired of seeing the suitcase.
I was gonna say.
I'm tired of the suitcase.
Yes. They open up the case and there's nothing there. You can milk that for a couple of months.
Yep. And then you have a couple more matches, and then either they go to his house, they'll have a match where he goes, "Yeah, you're the champion, but you don't deserve the belt. You're gonna have to fight me for the belt, champ."
Here we go.
I didn't really lose it because it wasn't in the briefcase.
Yeah, exactly.
You want this? You're gonna have to fight me for it. I just fucking did.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of something so good that you want to fight for it, how about Tekla? She's Spider in the Wild, man. Looking badass.
I'm having heart palpitations, guys.
And now again,
my dude Marcus is having palpitations over there.
You're a promoter. You're already a wrestling promoter. You'll find your way to get her phone number, and then you invite her to Whispers.
You and Whispers. It sounds like you want to go to Whispers, Rob.
I do want to go to Whispers, but you need a chick with you. You got one, so go to Whispers.
All right.
And speaking of Whispers.
Oh.
Here we see an expertly timed image of Mercedes Moné getting thrown to the mat by Zeuxis, and she's talking about all the good stuff that helps her. How should we say this? Embellish her culo, if you will.
Yeah.
All I know is I don't want to be in there after the Beast Mortos. You don't want to follow the Beast Mortos.
You don't want to follow a beast anywhere.
It's weird. I have the same diet.
And for those of you that are listening to the podcast, it's pozole, quesadillas, tacos, tamales, and Coca-Cola and Bolsa. So
sounds about lunch.
Yeah, exactly. And last but not least, we did have at least some good news, further proving that El Grande Americano and Chad Gable are not one and the same. Chad Gable did have successful shoulder surgery today. So he is now officially on the mend, and can't come any sooner. But
do they know how long he'll be out?
I haven't seen any kind of projections on it, but
I just saw Mercedes Monet's ass. So yeah, that
yeah,
happened.
got to be feeling good, you know. But also, Marcus, I know that you're a promoter as well, so you'll appreciate this. If you are listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, support independent wrestling. Future Stars of Wrestling, Joe DeFalco, who we do the DeFalco Files with every week. We'll have a new one dropping for you tomorrow. As I sat down with Joe DeFalco, and we're talking about the upcoming Moment of Truth show, Saturday, July the 26th, at 7 p.m. from the FSW Arena right here in Las Vegas. And again, support independent pro wrestling. It's where you will see the stars of tomorrow today. So, and as we get ready to wrap up, let's dive in for some final thoughts. Rob, where are you going to be performing this week? What are you going to be doing? Where can people...
You forgot something. You forgot a segment. So
I didn't forget anything.
So disrespectful. I'm ready to deport Elon. I'll easily deport you, okay? You didn't build me, Doge, okay? You're filling in for the bald guy, and we can easily get you out of the country. You know what? I think you're Bulgarian. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. You know what? Maybe you're from the Middle East, okay? He looks a little dark this week. Get him out of here. We're going to get you out of here. And then we have this other guy, this guy, he feels him. He wants the week before a major pay-per-view for all of the top talent to wrestle luchadors, okay? He wants all of the top talent a week before their pay-per-view matches to ignore their storylines and fight illegal immigrants, okay? We're trying to keep the illegals out of the country, and he's trying to bring them in and have them do dark matches on a 300th episode. That's what I want for my 300th episode. A dark match. Sign me up for dark matches on episode 300. That's that stuff that happens when you have an illegal immigrant named Chad Khan, and he brings in his cocaine kid. He did almost as much coke as Hunter Biden, and then they do dark matches on the 300th episode of a major publication. It's TNT, and they're doing dark matches on TNT. Who's doing this? Who's writing this? Get them out. Get them out of here. We got to deport them too. We're going to deport billions and billions and billions of these AEW writers who did this DEI thing where they got all these guys that came over the border. They brought drugs. They brought rapists. And I hear some of them were luchadors. It's very sad. So very sad what they let happen. And we're
they
not going
held back on... Dude, a lot of what they could do.
I didn't hold back.
Yeah, you didn't hold back. But then again, the president never holds back.
Ask my 3 wives. I never hold back. Believe me. Believe me.
So, Mr. President, while I have this opportunity, where are you going to be this week? And if people would love to get a personalized message from you, how would they do that?
First of all, on the 4th of July, I'm going to be in Washington, D.C., making America great again, celebrating our country like never before seen. And then on the 5th, actually on the 4th of July, we're going to try to get over to New Woo. Maybe, if we're lucky, you might be able to see me dirty, but we don't know yet. We're pending. But definitely La Jolla on 22. Let's get this. What is it? It is, they're telling me it's 2245 East Flamingo Road. It is a 4 horseman production with Lex Las Vegas and Mike Stiggs and Khalil Mack. And they've got this guy, really talented, Rob Barcelleri. He said, I don't feel good. I don't feel very well. Mr. President, my favorite president, the best president. We need you to go in and we need you to save the show. And that's what I'm going to do. We're going to make La Jolla great again. And these are legal Mexicans. Very important. They're legal Mexicans, okay? Not birthright citizenship. Born here, raised here, who happen to speak some Spanish, but they can speak English too. And they're hosting me, and it's going to be a tremendous show like never before seen. And if you come to the show, you could go and find tickets on Eventbrite or come pay at the door. And then if you get in the show, you get to stay for the nightclub after. Okay, Rob? Tell them. look at this. I'm a completely different person.
Oh yeah.
And if you get the tickets for the show, look at Lex Las Vegas's page or mine. Look at tickets. It's going to be on Eventbrite. And the cool thing is you get to now stay in the club afterwards. It's an incredible nightclub. Amazing women there. Great drinks. And you'll be supporting local Vegas comedy and laughing. We're here to make you laugh. We're here to make you piss your pants. And you're going to see more than just the president. You're going to get Lex Las Vegas rapping. You're going to get mob stories from Mike Stiggs. And we got that Philly humor from Khalil Mack. And he's going to bring the party wagon too. You have got to see the Four Horsemen party wagon. It is a gigantic Mercedes-Benz Sprinter-type vehicle full of booze itself. And, yeah, it's going to be crazy. Nobody gets down like we do in the Four Horsemen. So come and enjoy it. This 8 o'clock, East Las Vegas. We're going to kill it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And if you're not there, then what the fuck is wrong with you?
If you're not there, then you're going to be sent to a gulag in El Salvador.
There you go. There you go. That is the official proclamation from your president. And Marcus, any final thoughts, man? Thank you for stopping by tonight. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And what final thoughts you have for us?
I would rather just to finish my thought real quick that I didn't get to finish my thought because I allowed Rob to banter a little bit.
Hold on. Right.
Real quick, I would rather watch a bunch of luchadors versus our top stars or whatever than Rusev versus Sheamus for the 700th time.
That's different.
So,
Rusev without Lana, by the way.
I don't have a problem with, taking it easy on episode 300. That's just.
Yeah, episode 500 is going to be Mae Young wrestling.
I'm excited for the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I think even if for some reason I had to skip this Dynamite, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because I got All In coming in. So
episode 350 will be Will Ospreay versus the Fabulous Moolah.
There you go, Rob.
We don't want Will Ospreay to work that hard, but Moolah's going to take a few bumps.
Yeah.
She's going to take a hidden knife.
She'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll be fine. But anyway, I just want to also say thank you to everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the stuff that you guys do. We appreciate each and every one of you. Also, a very special thank you to all the brave men and women serving this country, whether you're doing it on lands, foreign or domestic. Thank you for doing what you do so that we can do what we love to do. And last but not least, repsports.com, reppsports.com. Go there for all your pre-workout, weight loss, and general energy needs. Again, repsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout. Save yourself 10%.
Is that PP like golden showers? What kind of PP are we talking?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know the kind of showers. You know.
Are we talking about freak off level? Like what kind of golden?
Hey man, you got to go to the website and use the promo code to find out.
And we're gonna pardon Mr. Diddy today. Believe me, we're gonna pardon him because he might have a couple of videos that we don't want anyone to see.
Oh man, we just need to end this shit. All right, you guys, thank you for hanging out, and until next time, guys, we will see you. And
have a good night.
Let's see you guys.
Bye.
Until next week.
Did any of you have a great time tonight? Yeah.
With that, everybody, thank you for hanging out. We'll do it all again next week. Till then, happy wrestling.
Rolling up the strip under neon lights. Podcast mic is glowing in the desert nights. Matt Michaels leading with the swagger tights. Sin City Steve right by your side. Alright. Rob Butcher, Larry dropping truths, no fear. Broadcasting stories, make it loud and clear. From the Fremont edges to the Bellagio sphere. These bad boys rule, let me make that clear. Vegas bad boys, tearing up the scene.
To Matt Michaels and the Vegas Boys of Podcasting, this is John Cena saying thank you so much